My name is Arthur Rafferty. Now, I run an organisation in Belfast called ASNI, that's Asbestos Support Northern Ireland. What I would like to explain to you people here tonight is that I'm now taking 8 doctors from the Belfast area here to court. These doctors, 2 from the Mother Hospital, 2 from the City Hospital, 1 from Antrim Area Hospital, 1 from the Royal Hospital, and also the Medical Director of the Belfast Trust, Dr. Tony Stevens. These doctors colluded between themselves so that my diagnosis for asbestosis would fall through. I went to their hospitals with supposed to have all the best gear in the world. I got all the tests done, blood tests, chest tests, you name the tests, I got them done. MRI scans, both in all the hospitals, yet these doctors could not and would not diagnose me with asbestosis. It became strange to me that I thought there was something funny when all the doctors had the same report. You would think that they were all reading from the one hymn book. I had a fight them for almost 12 years before I could get diagnosed. And the best part about it, I didn't get diagnosed here in Belfast. I had a fight to try and be sent to a specialist in Liverpool, a Dr. Chris Warburton of the Aintree Hospital in Liverpool. I went to see him, and that doctor, after various tests, the exact same tests that I got here in Belfast, was able to diagnose me with asbestosis, bronchiectasis, and also pleural plaques. Now, this doctor gave me the exact same tests as these doctors here give me. And without any hesitation, I was diagnosed. Now, I came back to Belfast. I went to the courts. I took my case back under the courts again, and that's why it took me 12 years, because these doctors made a complete mess of everything. But I won my case in court over their heads, and from that day to now, these doctors have been holding a grudge on me. Now, I've put my purpose in to take these people to court. I've done everything legal and above board. Now what I find is that these doctors have colluded again with their friends, the lawyers and the solicitors, and that I can't get legal representation here in Northern Ireland. I have tried 8 of the top firms here, calling themselves medical negligence experts and asbestos experts, and not one of them will touch my case. Now, my human rights entitles me to legal representation, yet these people here have refused me. Now, I have been at the Bar Council at meetings over them, yet this corrupt Bar Council with their fancy lawyers are standing by each other and their corrupt doctors. Now, I have been to the Bar Council at least half a dozen times, and no satisfaction at all. I'm taking them to court. I appeared in court there quite recently for the case, and the Belfast Trust never appeared the first time. I appeared the second time in court. The Belfast Trust never appeared second time. I appeared the third time in court, and the Belfast Trust never appeared again. And the judge at my 3 hearings was a judge called Aidan Bell. Now, he gave me he allocated me with a corrupt case for these doctors, and he judged me to have a default judgment. That means that if they don't appear in the next time, I get an assessment for damages, and that means I can claim damages of them for not appearing in court. They never appeared 3 times. On the 4th time they did appear. A barrister appeared on their behalf, a fellow called David Sharp. He never spoke one word when we went into court. The judge, Evan Bell, done all his talking for him. I had a look round a couple of times to see if he was still there because I thought he was struck dumb. Now this judge said to me that the Belfast Trust can fight this appeal, and if he sees fit he can overrule it. Now the barrister David Sharp never spoke one word. I done all my talking, which lasted all of about 5 minutes. Then this judge, Evan Bell, without talking to me or without talking to Mr. Sharp, made his mind up and says he sides with the Belfast Trust that there is no default judgment and no assessment for damages. I couldn't believe my ears because I was told by other lawyers, once you get an assessment for damages, that's straightforward. The judge has to allocate you with damages for the Belfast Trust, time wasting me, bringing me to court 3 times and not appearing. Now, I was annoyed by that, so I walked straight out of the court. I knew there was nothing going to happen here because everything seemed sewed up. So I went straight into the head courts, the main office. I explained my case to 2 or 3 of the girls on the desk, and they couldn't believe it. So I got a letter there and then. I filled the letter in to the Lord Chief Justice, making a formal complaint against this fella, Evan Bell. I wrote the letter, and the girls, lucky enough, they were very helpful. They helped me with the letter. They took the letter, they put it in an envelope for me, no stamp needed, and they said, Mr. Rafferty, we will make sure that the Lord Chief Justice gets this right away. So I came out of the court, and happy enough I was, but then again I asked a couple of questions, and I found out that this judge, Evan Bell, used to be a heart surgeon in the Royal Victoria Hospital for 20 odd years, and that him being on my case was a conflict of interest. He should never have been allowed anywhere near my case unless the Belfast Trust had that plan, had one of their old boys on the bench to make sure that they would win their case. Now I'm waiting on the Lord Chief Justice to come back to me to tell me what is going to happen to this corrupt judge, because I'm not going to let this go. I want this fella face to face with the Lord Chief Justice so that I can explain my case to him. Now, getting all that annoyance, I am terminally ill with asbestosis. I now find myself that also this judge said to me in court that he doesn't know anyone who would take a case against the Belfast Trust and win it. And I thought by him saying that was a joke. And then he also pointed out, he says, now the defendant's lawyers, the like of Mr. David Sharp here, and pointed to this lawyer, would pick holes in my case. And that made my mind up there and then that my case was not going to be heard in Belfast. So I went to my MP Nigel Dodds and my MLA David McNorrie. I explained my case to them, and I told them what I want to do. I want my case taken out of the jurisdiction of Belfast, the corrupt Belfast courts, and brought to London, where I want it heard. So Nigel Dodds is trying to arrange that for me, and I also wrote another letter to the Lord Chief Justice explaining that, telling him that I have no faith at all in the courts in Belfast, and that I want my case heard in London. Now, I've also wrote to Lord John Taylor of the House of Lords. He is a barrister. And I've also wrote to Baroness Edwina Kennedy. Edwina Kennedy. She is also a human rights lawyer. I'm hoping to have a meeting with those two, and I will fly over to London personally to speak to them. because what happened to me here in the Belfast courts is diabolical, and if that's justice in Belfast, I don't know. So I'm waiting on word now coming from the Lord Chief Justice to tell me what sanctions he is going to have against this judge, Evan Bell, because what he done to me was unlawful. Now, when word comes back, I will be in contact with you again. Thank you for listening.